Well, just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on, I mean, obviously getting into the starting lineup here late in the season and everything, and just a little bit about maybe the feeling of the belief that the team has in you after kind of a short exposure to you to turn to you in a moment like this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first off, just want to give all the glory to God. Went through a lot of trying times and a lot of trials, and to even be in this position, is a testimony to Him and my journey. And following that, I'd like to say, just huge thanks to Kellen, the coaching staff, Jari Evans, Nugent, TJ, all the O-line coaches, and then the guys in the room as well. We definitely have grown closer since I've been here. And I've just tried to get better and better each and every day. And yesterday I think definitely didn't go the way we wanted it to. There were some runs that I definitely want back. Some passes that I definitely want back. Gave up a sack and we gave up 3 sacks as the O-line. Only scored 2 touchdowns, kicked a lot of field goals, but at the end of the day, we got a win. Last game in the dome, so that was great.
Feels like it's become a common theme amongst players from all over the team, really, of like, hey, won a game, but this could have been better, X, Y, and Z. Is that kind of the mentality that you all want to continue to have, that there's kind of always this next level to reach?
Yes, I mean it's never going to be perfect, and I mean you definitely, there are some games that you have a great game on all 3 phases, and I just don't think we have yet to have that yet. Defense was clicking, special teams was clicking, and I just think as an offense we definitely could have been better. And then really just starting with myself, I think I could have been a lot better in the run game. We weren't able to really run the ball that well. As an offensive lineman, that sucks. That's not something you want. And I mean, I'm sure as a play caller, that's not something that, you never want to be one dimensional. So definitely have a lot to improve on and looking forward to doing so against the Titans.
What was the challenge with the run game? I know you can only be so specific, but what was it that was so challenging?
I think just for me personally, I think just fundamentals and technique, and a little bit more discipline with my eyes, my footwork, and just the minute details, they matter the most on game day, when things are faster. So just correcting that, the little things, I think will definitely help us coming up here Sunday.
Well, you mentioned kind of your journey, but to, play in just one game in 2021, you played 6 special team snaps. To come into the season and play, 5 games, start one. I guess just first off, like, did you picture like in 2021 that uh, just how badly had you wanted to get on the field, and what does it mean to you to actually be playing after such kind of a long gap?
Definitely, it means a lot. And, my journey is definitely, I don't know if this has ever happened before, a guy being on the practice squad for 4 years and then a fifth year getting signed to the active roster. But I mean, definitely, just trying to persevere is something that I definitely wanted to do. Helping a team win a ball game is something that I've been wanting to do since I entered the league. And, I just haven't been able to do it until now. So just really grateful and thankful that I could yesterday. Obviously, could have been a lot better, in the red zone and the run game, giving the fans a little bit more because they definitely showed up and showed out for us. But like I said, getting a win, the last game of the Dome was great. So yeah, definitely want to keep building on it.
Was there something in that time that made you keep pushing to not give up or anything like that?
I mean, just lifelong dream, as a kid, growing up in Texas, loving football at the high school age. And then going to Colorado was a rough time at Colorado. Couldn't really put together a winning season. And then coming into the league, I'd say, starting out in New England, with Bill Belichick, I definitely felt like I had a lot of growing up to do, mentally and physically. So I'd say every single year, I've been getting closer and closer to this moment, and just been trying to build and prepare myself for it. So now that it finally happened, definitely was far from perfect, but I definitely think there were some things that I can grow and learn from and build off of.
What do you think it is that's made or that did make New Orleans like the landing spot for you? And what is it maybe about either Kellen's approach or the team's approach that's kind of paid off in getting you through that place of resiliency to this place of actualization?
It's a good question. I was previously in Denver, New Orleans West, so it could be that. But a lot of the guys out in Denver have nothing but great things to say about this team, the city and the culture. And I mean, now that I'm here, all of it, all of it is true. I have nothing but great things to say about this team, about the city, about this culture. And then as far as the coaching staff, Kellen's been great. Um, Working with me, working with the offense, just getting us better, focusing on the minute details. And I mean, obviously our record doesn't really show it, but I'd say we've been built since I've been here, week 3, I believe, in Seattle. I've just seen the growth happen more and more every single week, and just the culture slowly and slowly starting to build up more and more.
A lot of guys have mentioned kind of when you're 2-10 and the belief is still there. Like, just what did you notice that from this season? Is there anything you credit for why you guys actually stuck together? And does it feel different than past teams you've been on when the season maybe isn't going your way? Like, is there a tangible, noticeable difference there?
I'm trying to think. So I'd say, as far as the wins in the field, I'd say no. I think every single game, every single week, we went into that week, with a good game plan and feeling like we had a chance to win that game. Um, but I mean, it's tough. But I think as the weeks went on and we grew closer, we kept our head down and kept working. We finally just got over that hump and got that win. And from there on, we just kept wanting to feel that winning feeling. You know, um, I know Carolina, that was a great feeling. And then we had the bye, and then Miami and Atlanta. We let those two. I think those were two games that were more self-inflicted wounds. Obviously those are great teams, but I feel like we could have done a lot more to help ourselves in those games. So, um, after looking at the film of those games, we knew that we could correct a lot, and we did. And we were able to get a win versus Carolina after those two, and then keep building against the Jets.
I see you've already kind of bought into some of the local artwork scene. Was that something that how'd that come about?
Oh no, this I'm at work right now,
Oh,
so
okay, gotcha.
it's a nice
Over at
blue
the
dog
team.
though.
When it comes to you know offenses and kind of rebuilding everything, or kind of trying to build up an identity is always kind of the big word, right? It's the buzzword identity. What would you describe as maybe the offense's identity as it's grown throughout the season and as you've gotten involved?
Yeah, that's another thing that I think that we've gotten better and better at. And I'd say our offensive identity is we want to be balanced. Um, we want to be physical, the most physical team, and we want to be able to win any way, shape, or form possible. Whether we have to pass it a lot or whether we have to run it a lot. We want to be able to know that we can do both of those things, and then have Kellen do what he does and dial up great concepts in the passing game, or dial up a great reverse, something to keep the defense honest, and just be disciplined. I think that's another big thing. Penalty-free football is something that Kellen has been preaching about a lot. Um, and I think that we're taking the right direction, and then ball security as well. Obviously, we weren't perfect in those two aspects yesterday, but um, you know, we're definitely keep harping on those and trying to get those things fixed.